The line command of SolidWorks. Click on new file. You have got three options as a part, assembly and drawing. Let us click on the part and click OK. So here is the sketch which shows us the different commands over here. First command is sketch, which also shows us more options of a sketch and 3D sketch. Let us click on sketch command. Now SolidWorks asks us for select a plane on which you have to draw the sketch. Let us click on the front plane. Now we can draw different geometries like line, circle, rectangle with the commands in this sketch. Here is the line command. If you go in the more options, you can see these three options as line, center line and midpoint line. Let us click on line. Now this line asks us to define a first point and a last point so that SolidWorks can draw a line for us. Let us click for first point somewhere here and second point somewhere here, and you can come out of this line. SolidWorks has drawn a line for us. You can see the first point, last point, and a line is drawn in between these 2 points. All these are in blue. Let us draw a line again. Click on the line command. Now I'll click the first point as my 0, 0 point, and I can click for the second point now, right? Somewhere here I'll select the second point and I'll come out of that line command. Here you can see the second line is also in blue. The line is in blue, second point is in blue, but the first point is in black. What does that black means? Black is a fully defined object, maybe a point, line, circle, whatever. In sketch, which object is shown in black is a fully defined one. You can't move that. What do I mean by this? If I try to move the first point on this line, it is movable. Again, this line, I can move it in the space. Similarly, second point I can move. But in this line, you can move the line, you can shift the point, second point, but you can't move this first point, as the SolidWorks says the selected item is fixed one and the fixed item is shown in black. Let us draw a line again with the help of line command. Click on the first point, 0, 0 point, and second point. For second point, uh, I will move the mouse in such a way that the second point and the first point are at 0 degree or 180 degree. Here you can see SolidWorks shows the highlighting as the horizontal bar, which means the line which we will draw now is gonna be the horizontal line. I'll click here and I'll come out of this sketch. Now what is the difference in between the first two drawn lines and this line is that this line is in black, so you can't move this line, right? So this line is defined as the horizontal line, and it is also shown with this horizontal bar which says horizontal. When you click on this line, you can't see such a symbol, but when you click on this line, you can see that symbol which represents a horizontal line, right? So that is blacked out, but the point is blue, so you can shift it. Okay. Similarly, we can draw a vertical line which is at 90 degree here. Okay, right click and come out of that. So this is blacked out again, so you can't move this line, but you can move the point on that line, right? What we can do for defining the second point so that point also gets black or fully defined, for that you can make use of the smart dimension. You can click on this line and say 90 mm. Now you can see the second point is blacked out, so this line is completely defined. Similarly, I can say this is 45, which is a completely defined line now. And for this line here, we can say angle is 45 degree, length of this line is 75. This is also completely defined now. But this line is not completely defined, right? How can we define this line so that it is also blacked out? You will give the length of this line as 90 mm, and what more you have to define? You have to define the location of the first point and last point. For that, what I can do is I will give the x coordinate for that first point as 65. Again, I can give the y coordinate of that as 17 mm. Then x coordinate for this second point as 8 mm. And now you can see this is fully defined. Okay, as we have already defined the length of that line, so there's no need in defining the y coordinate of second point, right? And if we delete this 90 mm, we have to define y coordinate for that second point from this 0, 0 point. So if I define this at 70 mm, now you can see this line is again black highlighted, which is fully defined now. And this is also shown here as the sketch is fully defined. Okay, so this is line command. Then second option was of center line. Center line also behaves in the same way. Whatever we have seen for the line, same applies for the center line. So we have to define the center line with the help of first and last point. But you can see the difference between the line and center line is that the center line is drawn with the help of a center line. I mean, you will only use this center line for drawing references or for drawing the construction features for the main features. Means this is my main line. I will make use of the construction line for defining the main line. Okay. The next command is a midpoint line. When you click on the midpoint line, now this SolidWorks will ask us to define the midpoint first and then define the first or last point. So you will click somewhere here and you can come out of the line. So SolidWorks can draw a line for us. In this, we have to define the midpoint first and then the last point.